Welcome back to Fixing Up in association with Amazon, the show where we restore cars that you can win. My name's Danny Hopkins and I'm here at the Practical Classics workshop where last time our Golf GTI 8 valve was in overdrive. We managed to get the engine back together, we put the gearbox back in, we reinstalled the suspension and the brakes, and then finally we took it up the yard and back for a little drive. And it all worked. However, there's still a long list of things to do. Let's go and have a look at it. Coming in, Clive, I understand you have some news.
Yes, Danny, and it's not very good news at all. I'm very upset.
Oh, no.
You know that bit that you said would be fine earlier?
Well, I didn't say it'd be all right, but I just thought we could probably ignore it and it'd go away.
It won't.
Really?
And it's not the other side either.
No,
look,
really.
we've got holes there and it's very rusty and
I can
horrible
see it.
and so...
It's not going to polish out, is it?
No.
So what does that mean?
That means screen out, and we need to do that before you do your trim because we're going to be making lots of dust, sparks and mess.
But we rolled it out here specially.
Yeah, I know, and we're going to roll it back in specially now too.
Okay, here we go.
Get pushing.
All right. Right. To you. We're indoors now. We've brought the car back in. We're getting tooled up. We're ready to take the screen out. We've never done this before, have we?
No, but I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, you are. We've got the delaminator here, as you can tell. Apparently, we've done our research, and apparently you can push the screen out from the inside. You start in the top corner, you pull the rubber back, and then you can peel the screen out from underneath it. So we're going to give that a go. We've never done it before. I've got my soft-soled shoes on. I'll be applying the pressure. Clive will be using his special tool and his squirty bottle full of some kind of liquid, who knows what. We're going to put the safety goggles on. You've got yours on. Do you want me to guide you in? Because you can't see where you're going, can you, darling? All right. I'm going to sit in the front seat and we'll see how it goes. I've got soft-soled shoes on. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on.
I think the key with this is trying to do it a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Can you feel it moving?
That's it. Right, hold on. It is coming, it is coming, it is coming. Push a bit more. That's it.
It's moving.
It's going, it's going.
I can actually feel the glass bend.
Yeah, it's gone. It's cracked. It's cracked.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, well, we've been a bit eager. I think this is a correct way of doing it, but we might have been rushing it a bit. I can feel it going even more now. Yeah, so a new screen is required. However, we had to get this screen out. It was something we wanted to attempt ourselves. Perhaps we should have cut the rubber and bought a new one. But anyway, what has happened, and we shall have to deal with it. We'll get the rubber out, we'll get the screen out, we'll do the work on the screen surround, and then we'll probably contact a professional to come and fit it again for us. It's amazing watching a piece of glass shatter, though, in slow motion under your feet. Ow.
Like that?
Like that. Happy days.
Doesn't matter how it comes out now, because the damage is done.
So if there was any doubt that what we're doing here wasn't real and isn't filmed live, hopefully that's been dispelled by what's just happened. We both spectacularly ran out of talent. We told you it was the first time we'd ever done it, and we've proved it because this windscreen is now smashed to pieces. And we've got to carefully take it, I'll put my glasses on first because it is still splintering, carefully take it out of the screen aperture. You can hear it over the windscreen wipers and then off into the bin. Let's take the rubber off.
Fold it up.
Fold that over.
Your accident card.
Okay, so we're going to shut the lid on this. Just really shows you how important, though, laminated glass is, because this thing shattered and we were both underneath it. Because it's laminated, it all held in one piece and none of the shards of glass fell on us, so that's good news. Right. Time to call a glass specialist. Amazing, there's lots of tiny little shards of glass. They've just splintered out of the laminate all over the bonnet here, so I'm just carefully hoovering them up. So, right, Clive, we've obviously now, after the drama and the getting rid of the shards of glass, we're looking at the reason we took the screen out in the first place, and that's this. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I think it's a good job we actually did, well, we sadly broke the screen, it's a good job we did remove it because it's very rusty under there and it's only going to get worse.
This is where, I mean, it's a traditional spot. It's the same either side. It's obviously where the water gets underneath the rubber and just sits there and rusts it away, isn't it?
Yeah, interestingly, the drain hole's there.
Yeah.
But I think the water collects there.
Yeah, it does.
It's a bit late for a warranty claim though, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Right, I suppose we better get to it then.
Definitely. Well, I've cut out all the rust from there, but now I need to make some templates for the new steel to weld in. And for that, I'm going to use the wrapper from Danny's sandwich box. Well, because of how complicated this little bit is and I need to get the shape of it just right, I'm having to make it in 2 pieces. So I've made the template, cut the first piece, and now I'm just going to tack that into place.
So Clive's done some sculpture in the corners of the screen surrounds, some welding sculpture. All the holes are nicely closed up. We've got proper metal in there in place of the corrosion. Now we're going to grind back the snots, and after that we're going to paint it to make sure that when the screen gets put back in that nothing is left uncovered. So, Clive, what time is it?
I think, Danny, you'll find it's grinding time.
It's grinding time. Right, now every single bit of this screen surround has been ground back, it's nice and flat. We're going to cover every single square inch of exposed metal with a rust converter before we start priming. This just adds a bit more under paint security and stops it re-rusting again. So Clive can't talk because he's concentrating too hard. But what we're doing now, we've got the rust converter on it, preventing rust out, and now we're filling over the top. We're going to sand this back to make an absolutely perfectly flat finish over which we can paint. Go on, Clive, carry on now.
Thank you.
So we are just masking off the screen aperture now so that we can blow some primer into the surround, and then we're going to just fill in with a little bit of aerosol paint just in the place where the rubber's going to sit, because the actual proper paintwork's going to be done at the paint shop. That's going to be after the MOT, so we have to get the rubber in and we have to get the screen in before the MOT, otherwise we won't be able to drive it there, and then we can drive it to the paint shop. So that's what we're doing at the moment, and that's why cardboard is very useful. Right, so now comes the first bit of paint we're going to lay on it. Try and just get it around the aperture. We're going to just use a primer, which does have a bit of zinc in it, so it is a bit rust resistant. And that's just going to cover up what we've done. We've masked the rest of the car off, and of course if I'm going to be painting in an enclosed environment, even though it's quite a big enclosed environment, wearing gloves, wearing goggles. I'm also, very importantly, in this sealed bag, because you've always got to keep it sealed if you want it to stay fresh, I have a activated charcoal mask, which is absolutely essential if you're spraying anything. And I know some paints are more harmful than others, but even with a primer, I always wear an activated charcoal mask.
Really mix it well. And what you want to do is you want to start with short runs just over the area that's most exposed, the area that you've worked on most. So that gets the first layer, and that means when you go over it again, it will get more layers than the rest of it. It's going on okay. Obviously this nozzle is a little bit suspect because every now and again you can see I'm getting a bit of spatter. The good thing about this is none of this is really going to be seen, with the possible exception of this panel here. But we can all be flatted back in between coats and flattened again. So if there's anything that's too raised, too obvious, we can take it out. So I think everywhere we want to cover has now got at least one coat on it. The important places where we've done lots of metal work, the bottom corners, I'm going to give those another coat, but first I'm going to wait for the primer to go off for 5 minutes. Okay, so we've put the primer on, particularly in the areas that have had metal work done to them this morning with Clive, and I'm now going to put some of the top coat pre-mixed colour on it, which is oak green. And we've already tested it on a piece of card. It matches the rest of the card really, really well. So I'm going to start spraying it now. This isn't professional painting, obviously, and the exposed areas are probably going to be done again when we take it to a paint shop, but I'm doing it as well as I can. And this is a reasonably high quality nozzle on this spray can, being pre-mixed. And what I'm doing is what I normally do when I spray a spray can, is just apply a light guide coat to start with. Gives it something for another coat to adhere to. Also, really quite impressed with the quality of the colour. The colour itself is really spot on. Just try and make sure my glove doesn't get in the way of the jet. So this guide coat now has probably gone off. I'm about 6 inches away from the surface. I'm making sure that whenever I stop spraying, I flick it off at the end. So I'm not stopping in one place and thereby creating a build-up of paint which might run.
So shall we remove the masking then, Clive?
I think it'd be rude not to, Danny.
Yeah, we've done that. It's got the colour on, got the lacquer on. Let's see whether it's a good match. It is going to look a slightly different colour because it is very much in the first flushes of drying. I think it's looking pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, you know the best thing about this, Danny?
Go on.
It's not rusty anymore.
It's not rusty anymore, is it? All the rust is gone. There is something really, really satisfying about peeling this off. It's really nice. The most important part of what we've just done is we've covered this inner lip with rust protector, and then a primer, and then paint, and then lacquer. Really being painted well, so that's not going to have any exposure to the open air ever again. And that means when you sit I'll just get this out. When you sit the rubber that goes round the screen onto that lip, it will seal really nicely, we hope. And that means it won't have to worry about it leaking, you won't have to worry about it rusting. So the purpose of that exercise was to put paint on that inner lip, which means when it goes to the paint shop, he won't have to lift it, go up underneath it, he'll just be able to paint up to the actual rubber edge itself. It's time to step away from all that drama. Back to something familiar that we know very well. Yes, I am in Kit Corner once again. So, Kit Corner is your chance to win a whole heap of stuff for your own workshop and your own classic. We've got 4 elements, and I'll start with the first one. Amazon Basics. We've got Amazon Basics tools. We've got drill bits, we've got protective equipment, we've got small kits, large kits, we've even got the gorgeous 72-piece mechanics tool set. That's all yours if you win Kit Corner. Moving along, you can also win a Bosch service kit for your classic. And remember, if your classic isn't covered by Bosch, we'll supply the service kit for your modern. Bosch, only the best. Moving further along,
All the electricity your car will ever need when you're starting it up is supplied by NOCO. Okay, so we've got the NOCO Ultra Safe Jump Starter. That can start an engine up to 8 litres. If you've got an 8-litre engine, you're quite safe with this. We've also got a more compact, the Ultra Safe Jump Starter than Boost Plus here. And we've also got a trickle charger and battery conditioner as well for any tired batteries that you might have. And finally, last but not least, we've got Castrol. We're going to supply you with all the oils that you could possibly need from Castrol, whether it's 2050 or Castrol GTX, Liquid Engineering, or a Magnatec oil for your modern, along with a fetching hat and a nice little can. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Kit Corner. Now you might be asking, how do I get to enter into the Kit Corner competition and win all this stuff? Well, I'll tell you. All you need to do is get yourself along to practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing up. I'll say it again, this time slowly. practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing up. You gotta be in it to win it. That's Kit Corner.
Okay, everything's happening rather quickly now. I'm now wearing the headlining, but I need help in order to remove it without damaging everything. So, Clive!
Yes.
The voice of doom.
Yeah. You needed help before the headlining.
Yeah, very funny. Would you mind giving this little tug, please? Gentle, because we don't want to damage the board. It's all come away. There you go. Whoa.
It's out.
So we've got all the material out. I've extracted the backboard from behind its various bits of trim. It's now floating freely, but in order to make sure it doesn't collapse in on itself, I'm having to support the center part with my fingertips and the forward part with my shoes. Whereas Clive is now at the back, supporting the aft part of the board with his hands. And now we're going to attempt to maneuver it out. Wish us luck. Here we go. Spin it around for the ladies and gentlemen at home. And that is how we do that. It's only a bit broken. We're going to bin this because it's of no use to anyone, and say thank you very much for your years of service. What we're going to do instead is we're going to have a look at the headlining that we ordered and got delivered through Amazon. So I can't lie, this is a job that is far more suited to younger men who are more agile than the two of us. So no laughing, all right? It's not funny, it's not big, it's not clever. But we are going to take this beautiful piece of GRP, which is backed with some lovely cloth, in through the rear end as it came. The old one came out. Clive's going to do the central fixings, which are just here. There you go, Clive.
Thanks,
I'm
darling.
going to get up the front, climb through to the front, and I'm going to put on the grab handles at the side, which also hold the front end up, and that should at least get it stable and in, and then we can have further discussions and probably a cup of tea. It's also extremely fragile with a sunroof aperture cut into it. Okay, I'm in. Now I'm going through onto the back of the passenger seat. Okay, so let's just see if we can hold it there for a second. This might look quite comfortable, but I can assure you it isn't. So are you in a position, Clive, where you can put if you get in, you can put one of those fixings into the roof?
I'll have a go.
I hope you're all enjoying this at home, because we're certainly not.
Right, hold on a minute.
There's a moth just flew out of this.
Yeah. Sure it wasn't your wallet?
It was my wallet, yeah. Okay, so one of the best ways of getting this to stick up at the front is to get the headlining behind the rubber seal. It goes around the door aperture, and that way at least you've then got some support. Thank you, Mr. Cameraman. It's very kind of you. Just what I need. But I'll tell you what, the actual headlining itself, look back down through the car, looks really good. Already, it looks like a new car. But it's all those details that will make this car
worth winning, because you know you can win it, don't you? If you want to enter our prize draw, all you have to do is get yourself along to amazon.co.uk/fixing up. That's amazon.co.uk/fixing up. And you can win this headlining, which comes with a complete Mark II Golf GTI 8 valve attached to it. Who would want more than that? So that's the end of another very long day, isn't it, Clive?
Indeed.
So today we got the interior completely sorted. We put the headlining in, we refitted all the interior trim, and then we detailed it. And that has taken some time, has it not?
Yes, an incredibly long time.
And it's a sort of job that really is only suited to contortionists or anybody under the age of 30. So I think actually we deserve a cup of tea after that.
Several.
Yeah. So we've got that done. Tomorrow we're going to have the screen fitted, and that means we can put the rest of the trims back in. And then also, that also means we can take it for an MOT. But first, must not forget, we have to get the wheels back and we have to have new tyres fitted. So I've got to order those tyres up and get those tyres fitted onto those wheels and then put the wheels on the car before we can go for an MOT. It is still a logistical nightmare, but we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah, it does seem never ending, but I think the light, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now.
Excellent. And then it can be a car that you can win. Remember, get yourself along to amazon.co.uk/fixing up. That's amazon.co.uk/fixing up. If you want to win this car, you want to be in with a shout, got to be in it to win it. And if you want to win Kit Corner, remember, go along to practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing up. That's practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing up if you want to win Kit Corner. That's all that lovely kit you saw earlier. Anyway, cup of tea, and then time for bed, I think. Good morning, it's a lovely day, the yard's ever so busy, we're having a really nice one. We've come outside because we fancied a bit of sunlight and vitamin D. While Clive is working on the car, I'm going to be doing some cleaning and some treating as well of the trim, the plastic trim that's come off the car. There's already plastic trim still on the car, we're going to be treating that on the car, but the stuff that's come off, we might as well give it a go out here in a controlled environment. Starting with the front grille. Now I've already done half of this just to show you what a good clean can do. And there's loads of gloops and coatings out there for plastic and rubber trim, which you paint on. Before you do that, why not give what you've got a really deep clean? So look at this. You can see on my left, your right, that's all just been cleaned. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's really good. It's really nice. It's got a nice used patina, but really clean. And this side, that's what came out from under the tree. Now, if you wanted it perfect, if you wanted it factory, maybe you would go for a coating, but I personally wouldn't. We're not restoring this car for concourse, we're restoring it for use, so you can win it and use it. If you wanted to go a bit further, you could. But for me, what I've got on the left there is pretty good. So we're going to carry on cleaning that. We're also going to clean these trims here for around the wheel arches. They might need a coating, I don't know. We'll get to see what they're like once they're clean. Another thing for the front grille, we've detached the metal strip that goes along the bottom of the front grille. This could have been cleaned, but actually what we've got is some stone chipping all the way up it, and that is a potential problem because even if you clean it, it's still going to be there. So we're going to send this away to the paint shop with the rest of the car. This will be resprayed in oak green, and then we'll attach it once that paint has been applied. We've got the rear bumper. We're going to be cleaning that up as well, having a look. There are some little gouges in it, nothing too bad, but we'll again assess it when it's really clean. We can't really do much more than that. So I've got two buckets. One of them's got water in it, one of them's got water with a trim shampoo in it. Then we've also got some vinyl care as well, which is just a kind of coating, but it's clear. Because what I don't want is I don't want to take these trims back to black. They were never black in the first place, they were always grey. I think once they've been cleaned, they'll go back to being the grey that they were to start with. So I'll crack on. Right, this is vinyl and rubber protectant. We're going to try it out on the front splitter. This sits below the spoiler. It's a bit that takes the hardest hit from all the road debris right at the front of the car. I've cleaned it up, it's come up okay, it looks all right, but I just want to see how it looks after we've used this, and if it's too shiny and too plasticky looking, I think I won't use any more, but if it comes up okay, we'll use a bit more in the rest of the car. It's a good place to test it out. It's right at the front, tucked away, you don't really notice it. We'll just see how it performs. Let's give it a go. It actually takes off quite a lot of filth as well. So I'm going to do the entire width, maybe apply another coat as it says to on the bottle to give it even more sheen, because we want a bit of a sheen. We don't want it to look ridiculous, but we'd like it to at least be noticeable. I think that looks a lot better. That's 2 coats, and it seems to have just given it enough shine to make it look sort of wet, which is what you want, but it doesn't look ridiculous. So yeah, I think we'll do this on all the trims. Right, well, I'm just putting on the final coat here of rubber and vinyl protector. Basically, with this done, it means that all of the trim has been cleaned and protected. It means also that when I put the trim back on, I can't believe I'm saying this, when I put the trim back on, that will be the final bit of the car. That means it will be finished. Finished, there's a good word. But that can't happen until the car's been away and had paint. So we're not quite there yet, but at least we're ready to be there. So that's all in all, it's quite exciting, really. So the windscreen is now in the car, and it went in a lot easier than it came out, didn't it, Clive?
Yeah, that's because someone else fitted it, Danny.
Indeed, a professional. But it's lovely. It also means we've finished fitting up the trims that go around the screen, which basically means the interior is completely done now, and we have a watertight car, which is extraordinary. We're coming along, I think. We're entering the area where we might sort of begin to think about taking it down the yard for an MOT. Fingers crossed with that. It's a great day. It's a fantastic day because look what has turned up. Fantastic. We went round and round in circles looking for somebody to refurbish our wheels, and now, well, Richard Tudor Wheels has done a really good job, hasn't he, Clive?
A really good job. Can you get away with that? Are you sure?
I think you need to curb your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I already have.
I think they're absolutely beautiful. And he's done the centres as well, so the centres match the wheels. These are going to look absolutely superb. The important thing about them is that they're all consistent colour, and they're all really clean. There's hardly any pitting left on them.
Yeah, all the curb damage is gone, isn't it?
Had to fill in around the edges. I know that I spoke to him on the phone. He was saying that they were having to add some metal to a couple of the rims because they'd been curbed so badly they'd chipped the actual metal out of the rims. So some really extensive work has gone on. They look absolutely superb. Now our job is to make the rest of the car look as good as the wheels do. And we're going to start that process by ordering some tyres, Clive. So I'm just going to go on amazon.co.uk, got the app up just there. I've put in the size we want, which is 185/60 R14. And I've got a lovely set of Michelins. There you go. They're on there. Nice. So I'm going to buy them. Really good value. Get them delivered. And then we'll have them fitted. Absolutely superb though. I just, made up. I love a bit of shiny, and these are beyond comparison. Really, really good. Very, very pleased. Thanks, Rich. Okay. Earlier today, I took this baby down the yard to see Uncle Nick at the MOT station, and after all the work that we've done on it, the body work, all the suspension, the brakes, the gearbox, the engine, the interior. Nick gave it a thorough test. He put our handiwork to the sword. And after an hour, he came up with an answer. And the answer is written here, Clive, on this piece of paper. It's written in one word. Would you like to see what the word is?
I would indeed.
What is the word, Clive?
Pass.
Yes! We passed an MOT! So after 4 years under a tree and so long in the workshop, hours and hours of us sweating with blood, sweat and tears, this car is now road legal once again. So that means if you want to win it, you're going to be able to drive it home. Get yourself along to amazon.co.uk/fixing up. That's amazon.co.uk/fixing up and enter the prize draw, and this baby could be yours. And remember, if you want to win the workshop kit that you saw earlier on, get yourself along to practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing up. That's practicalclassics.co.uk/fixing up, and you can win all the kit that I presented to you earlier. Now, I think it's time we took this baby for a drive.
To the pub?
No, to the paint shop, because we want to make sure it looks as well as it goes. And that means a proper respray in oak green. Come on, Clive, let's go. Oh, and by the way, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Next time, we take our Golf by the scruff of the neck and get it back into working order.